Eggs are way down. Thank you very much, Madam Secretary. You've done a great job. Appreciate it. When we came in, the eggs were through the roof. They were 4 times higher than they've ever been.
Trump once again painted a false picture of the economy, claiming there's no inflation and insisting groceries, energy, and even eggs are way down. He exaggerated gas prices, saying they've dropped to $2, and bizarrely claimed that when he came in, eggs were 4 times higher than they've ever been, blaming it all on Biden. Instead of facts, Trump turned to finger-pointing, mocking Biden and pushing misleading numbers to boast about himself while ignoring the reality Americans face at the checkout line.
Groceries are down. Energy is way down. Energy is way down. It was $4 and $5 for a gallon of gas. Think of that for gasoline. And now it's probably $2.25. There are some places it's $2. It broke $2 in a couple of locations in the South. In places like California where they charge such high taxes, it's higher, but it's still much lower than what it was a year ago. So energy is way down. Groceries are way down. Eggs are way down. Thank you very much, Madam Secretary. You've done a great job. Appreciate it. When we came in, the eggs were through the roof. They were 4 times higher than they've ever been. And my first question from you people, well, what are you going to do with eggs? I said, what's the problem with eggs? That was caused by Biden, or whoever was operating the auto pen actually caused it, I guess, because I don't think he knew too much about eggs.
Today, during a cabinet meeting, President Trump declared, if somebody kills somebody in the Capitol, Washington, D.C., we're going to be seeking the death penalty, framing it as a very strong preventative. This move marks a major escalation in federal intervention in D.C., a city that abolished capital punishment decades ago and hasn't executed anyone since 1957.
Anybody murders something in the Capitol, capital punishment, capital punishment. If somebody kills somebody in the Capitol, Washington, D.C., we're going to be seeking the death penalty. And that's a very strong preventative. And everybody that's heard it agrees with it. I don't know if we're ready for it in this country, but where you have it, we have no choice. So in D.C. and Washington, states are going to have to make their own decision. But if somebody kills somebody, like you could have been killed, very lucky you didn't get killed, it's the death penalty, okay?
President Trump brandished a graphic given to me by Mark Zuckerberg, unveiling a massive plan for Meta's AI data center, allegedly sprawling as big as Manhattan and costing a staggering $50 billion to build in rural Louisiana. Trump marveled at the scale, saying, I built shopping centers for $50 million. I never understood when they said $50 billion for a plant. What the hell kind of plan is that?
Something given to me by Mark Zuckerberg, and you'll see this is AI now. I never understood. I said, well, because I built shopping centers, and for $50 million, you can build a very nice shopping center. So I never understood when they said $50 billion for a plant. I said, the hell kind of a plant is that? But when you look at this, you understand why it's $50 billion. So this is one he's building in Louisiana. That's Meta, Facebook, as people understand it to be. But look at that, that's the size of Manhattan. So that's superimposed over the island of Manhattan. It takes up a big part of Manhattan. I think they say 81% of Manhattan. So these are big things, and they're going up. A lot of them are going up now. I don't know that big. Actually, Mark is building 4 of them.
President Trump openly insulted reporters, declaring, many of you are corrupt. The remarks came as he bragged about his latest crackdown in Washington, D.C., where he has deployed federal officers and National Guard troops to combat crime.
Everybody before me is happy what I'm doing. Most of you won't say that because you're radical left. The newspapers are so dishonest. The press is totally dishonest, but that's all right. We've gotten used to it. And we had tremendous, in every way, the election. And it's hard to believe you can do that when you have a corrupt media. But many of you are corrupt, and it's nothing we can do about it. But we keep winning, and we're going to keep winning. I hate to barge in on a city and then be treated horribly by corrupt politicians and bad politicians, like a guy like Pritzker. He ought to spend more time in the gym, actually. And one of the things I discussed with President Putin the other day, it wasn't just that, it was also other things. And I think the denuclearization is it's a big aim, but Russia's willing to do it, and I think China's going to be willing to do it too.
President Trump said denuclearization talks with Russia and China are a big aim, stressing that nuclear weapons proliferation must be stopped. Following his recent Alaska summit with Vladimir Putin, Trump now seeks to bring China into broader arms reduction discussions. He framed the effort as cooperation over confrontation, linking it to peace efforts in Ukraine while reaffirming U.S. support for Ukrainian sovereignty.
One of the things we're trying to do with Russia and with China is denuclearization. And it's very important. One of the things I discussed with President Putin the other day, it wasn't just that, it was also other things. And I think the denuclearization is it's a big aim, but Russia's willing to do it, and I think China's going to be willing to do it too. We can't let nuclear weapons proliferate. We have to stop nuclear weapons. The power is too great. Okay? Thank you.
Mr. President, I'd like to ask you further questions.